Perfect. So my company is called Agent Tech Mastery, in case you didn't know that. Just a sec here. I need one more thing done. For some reason, my speaker notes are gone. There they are. All right. agenttechmastery.com. And this training is really about one thing. It's how to build a streamlined business that can save you 10 or more hours a week and possibly tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in missed income and lost deals. Now, today really is about educating yourself on how Gmail works and kind of tips and tricks on that. But really, we'll talk about email in particular and what you should be doing with email. Okay. So all this info is 100% free. So subscribe, follow, or like our content, share with your agent pals. And please, later on, when you see this, I'm going to put it up to YouTube. I'll put it on the different Facebook options and groups I have. Please ask questions there, follow and like there as well. So we are just going to be talking about, are you ready? Gmail. That's why you're here, right? So Gmail tips and tricks. And I just want to, I know not everybody knows, lots of people do, I think, but not everybody knows who I am. My name is Darci LaRocque, and I've gained a unique knowledge over many decades of working with information technology and stuff you hate, I love. And it really is about how email integrates with everything and what is important to understand about email. And Gmail is obviously one of the versions of email that you can have, and it can be attached to cloud storage. And really the goal is for everything to be integrated properly. So you update your phone, it updates your CRM. We're not really going to be talking much about CRMs today, but CRMs are your gold. And that is how you can keep in touch with past clients, present clients, set up drip campaigns, and it only works if your business is set up properly from top down. Now, I really could be helping any small business, but I only work with real estate agents and have for the last decade or so. And it's because of my husband. My husband became a realtor about 13, 14 years ago. And I was starting to look at just how he was running his business. I'm like, why are you doing that? Why are you running your email off Yahoo? And I think he had Shaw email as well at that time. Why are you running back to the home or office to get documents? What a waste of time when you know you could be set up and systematized so you don't have to do that, right? And why, you know, when he updated a contact on his phone, it wouldn't update everywhere else. It was because none of his systems were integrated and talking. So I made it my mission to figure out how to get them all set up. And then that's all I've been doing to help real estate agents. So it's pretty cool, right? So what I found is that Terry wasn't an anomaly. Everybody had the same problem. It wasn't just Terry. So now I've helped thousands of agents across North America for the last, oh gosh, long time. Okay, I feel old when I talk about how long. This is Terry, if you don't know him. We moved up to the Okanagan, I guess March of when COVID hit. We came here temporarily because we had a place up here that was a little bigger than the Lower Mainland, and we've never left except to sell our place in Vancouver. So this is Terry, and because his systems are set up properly, every single year is his best year ever. And because he consistently keeps in touch with clients, he's got the systems in place. And that's what I want for you guys as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about the different things that Gmail can help you with today. Okay, so here's one of the things we talk about. I always have to talk about Gmail. And email in particular. So how professional does it look if you're running your business with a, you know, Joe Blow 1973 at gmail.com or Joe the Best Realtor at gmail.com or Joe at Sutton or Joe Sutton Real Estate at gmail.com or yahoo.com, or you get the gist, right? It doesn't look very good. And there's many reasons why you shouldn't do that. Or just Joe Blow Realtor. And also we see the year of birth. Now, really, really, really horrible to have a public info about your year of birth. And whether you are using Shaw, TELUS, horrible, you guys, if you're using Shaw and TELUS as well, I cannot stress how horrible those are. But honestly, you're helping the fraud people know one more thing about you. They know your first name, they know your last name, and they know your year of birth. And the flip side of that too is that, you know, ageism. Like, is it possible that someone might think you're too young or too old, depending on who they are, right? And you're giving them the goods right away to say it's, you know, Joe Blow Realtor 1973 at gmail.com. Okay. Okay, so that's really important to understand. And then who do you want to market for? Do you want to market for Gmail or do you want to market for yourself? That makes sense. So you guys that are using the Gmail, the @Gmail personal email, you're not doing yourself any favors, okay? Now, Gmail is an email platform. So you can actually view other emails inside Gmail. So I'm going to be talking about the platform in general. And then I'll give you an opportunity at the end to book a call with me if you find that you're so frustrated because you're not set up properly, you don't have a business email address, things aren't working, and they can, okay? So we want you to be able to scale your business. So this is one of the things that I see agents don't think about email. And I just want you again, think about this. Remember that, you're hiring a lawyer. Would you hire Joe the Best Lawyer 1973 at gmail.com? Or would you hire Jenny at Smith Law if all things are equal? Like, it's a no-brainer, yet I don't know why real estate agents think it's okay to have a free email to run their business. And I see on forums, agents say, oh, it doesn't matter. And your agents are answering for other agents. I'm answering because I understand the technology. It does matter. People who say, oh, I never lost a deal. How do you know you haven't lost a deal? Because you went on a listing presentation and somebody else, it was totally professional. Everything looked professional. They didn't have Joe the Best Real Estate Agent 1973 at Gmail. And the other person had a properly configured business email. Okay. And I don't mean to forward your business email address to your Gmail or Yahoo or some other, because that's horrible, right? Nothing will be integrated. So again, we're going to talk about the cheap is actually costing you money. And I'll get to it in like literally in 2 minutes. I'm going to flip to my test account and I'm going to show you Gmail stuff. Okay. So, but it is costing you money if you're using free email accounts to run your business. Okay. So now I always have to say this and preface this because I always find out people would say, oh, I did what you said and I went up and set up a business email. And then they're all mucked up because now they've added another email to the list of emails they've got, which is usually 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's not set up properly. It's not on the right business server. It's not on the right plan. It'll never integrate with the CRM. Again, remember the goal for all this is that if you update a contact, or you add them to a category label, you can easily start working with that client inside a CRM because everything is talking to each other. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to go live. I'm going to go start to talk and look at your questions. So let me just flip over here. I am showing you a bad email. If I was an agent, this is a bad email address. This is my test account. And so I'm just showing you stuff like years ago, I've used this as a test account and I'll sign up for stuff so it accumulates email to show people. I don't really use this email address except for testing. Okay. So bear with me on how this looks and if anything's weird in here, because I don't really go into here too much, but I want you to really understand cool things that you need to understand about email. Okay. So I also have the questions up. I know you guys can't see it. I've got 2 screens. And if you don't have 2 screens, you're losing out because 2 screens make your life so much easier. Does anybody have 2 screens? 2 monitors? Because what happens if you haven't done this, it might be worth your while to go do it. Allie, is it the best thing ever? Is it really hard now to just use 1 monitor? Like if back in the day when we traveled and I take, or an iPad and a computer, yeah. So yeah, you can't anymore. Exactly. So I'll tell you what I do. This is just a tip on how to be efficient. So I literally have 1 open that you can see and 1 that I can do. So I'm always looking at 2 different screens. When travel comes back, and you guys, it's going to have to, what I have is I have the way to bring my laptop, which is not a Mac, but plug in my iPad. So my iPad, my big iPad, and is 1 screen and my Windows laptop is another. So I can drag things over and I can do kind of essentially the same thing. So if you haven't done it yet, you should get 2 monitors. Okay. Okay. So we're now inside my Gmail account and I'm just going to go and I'm going to talk to you about contacts. Okay. Your contacts are your gold. So I'm just going to go over to, I like to call this the Rubik's Cube up here, and I'm going to go to contacts. Oh, and a little tip here, you guys. Let me do that again. Oh, and the Rubik's Cube, this is all the things that Google has. Now, it might look different for some people for different accounts, but basically, if you want, I always put the things I use up at the top. So let's say, I don't know, let's say I use YouTube all the time. I literally can drag things up to the top and put these in the order of how I want it to look. So how cool is that? Okay. I don't use the account, I use the calendar. So everything is in, I probably want Gmail first, and then contacts, and then Drive, and then calendar. Is that cool? Okay. So, and someone says, why do I only have 172? Actually, I'll tell you that my inbox is almost zero. I'm working on some other stuff. If I was showing you my actual inbox, I have almost always less than 20 emails, because the only thing that sit in my inbox are things that I have not acted on. If I have acted on it, it is moved, archived, moved to a folder label, or archived or deleted. Okay, that is why. And there's a way, I'll show you how to clean up your inbox, because you've probably got a lot of crap in there, right? Or how to move stuff to a label or folder structure, so that you can kind of have an inbox zero, or I don't think inbox zero is possible, but at least a cleaned up inbox. Okay. Okay. So let's first talk about contacts. So if you guys have been following me for any great length of time, I'm always talking about the Rubbles and the Flintstones. And for some reason I use Brad Pitt. I don't know why, but this is something that you should be aware of. Okay. Now I'm always thinking about when your stuff is integrated properly with your CRM and your phone, why this matters. Okay. And my Apple Friend users, you guys would have a problem, because Apple also creates another email address that also, more than likely, like 99% of the time when I'm working with Apple users, and we fix this, is that their stuff sits with Apple's iCloud. Okay. So the contacts aren't sitting here or in Shaw or TELUS or Yahoo or whatever email, they sit all by themselves with Apple. And it's totally fixable, but that's why you're probably getting frustrated. You update your contact on your phone and it doesn't update everywhere else. And it's possible to do. So let's pretend that you're set up properly, and then I'll explain what would happen if you are. So Barney and Betty Rubble, okay? What I see people in general do is they put them as one contact. You should not. You need to separate your contacts, because right now, if this phone number is Barney's cell and he phones me, it's going to say it's Barney and Betty Rubble. I don't know who it is. So that's important, right? And you should separate your contacts. You can say, so let's just open this up. What I would do is I would get rid of Betty in here. You can say show more. And then you could add Betty as a spouse if you want the relationship here. You could put Betty, okay, and it comes up, and I say spouse. So she's attached, but when Barney calls me from that phone number, it's going to say Barney Rubble, not Betty, right? So if I save this, okay, and I can't remember if I can do no, I can't. So I create a new contact, and I'm going to create a new contact, and I put Betty Rubble. And I put Betty's email, Betty at, I don't know, the Quarry. She doesn't work at the Quarry, does she? And if you guys are too young to even know what I'm talking about, well, 604, let's just put a fake number here. Okay. And we could put that Barney is her husband in the relationship as well. Okay. So when I say save, now when Betty calls me, okay, when Betty calls me from that phone number, it's going to say Betty. When Betty texts me, it's going to say Betty. You get very confused if your stuff's all mucked up and not separated, or Apple takes over when you're texting and it's not showing the right people. Does that make sense, you guys? Any questions on that? And you'll know that if you're new to my webinars, I always like you guys to interact. There's never a dumb question, okay? Ever, 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 ever a dumb question. I love for you guys to interact, and on these type of webinars, not live on stage stuff, I can't see you, so I'd love for you guys to ask questions. Okay, so don't be shy, feel free, ask questions. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, G to go, good. Okay, so now this is the other thing. Now see over to the left-hand side, these are what we like to call labels. Now different email and if you guys actually use Outlook or Mac Mail or Windows Live Mail, that's a viewer. Gmail is a viewer. They're all viewers of email, okay? And they call, like, I think Outlook calls them labels. No, Outlook calls them categories. Google calls them labels, but they're the same similar thing, okay? So basically, I've got 2 people categorized as a newsletter. Now, why would I want that? Because if you think about how you categorize your people, when you're using a CRM, that means you can easily add the next person to the newsletter and push the list up to, let's say, MailChimp, when you go to do your monthly newsletter to your newsletter people. Okay, super easy. If I wanted to do an email blast to everybody labeled past client, now Barney could be a newsletter, a past client, and maybe he could be a current buyer. Then I would create a new label for him, right? It shows 2 labels up here. And I could do, maybe he's a prospective buyer as well. So now I have him in 3 labels, and I can keep track of my people this way. And if you have a CRM that works properly, is set up properly, then you can use these labels or categories to send email blasts to a specific type of person. How cool is that? Let me just see. I have a father and son phone number on the same contact. When I text the son, the father receives it because they're under the same contact. Exactly. You don't do that ever. I have been preaching this for, I don't even know, like, I've been working with how email and contacts all sync and integrate for so long. I've just, every time I tell people, separate your people, okay? Separate your people and put their email and their phone with their contact, and you can put notes, and it might have the same address. They might have the same landline if they have a landline, but their email is separate and their phone number is separate. Does that make sense? Their mobile phone number, okay? Yeah, otherwise it gets super confusing. I can't tell you like how many times I'm working with agents and they're saying it's so stressed out. I'm texting the wrong person. They got divorced and you're texting the husband. You meant to text the wife. You guys hear me? Super, 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 super important to understand this. Separate your contacts and label them appropriately. Okay. Any other questions on that? Because this is just really high level about contacts. Okay. Okay, another thing that people do, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to show you very well on here because I don't really use this. Oh yeah, okay, so it's got some in here. So when you go, if you see over to the left-hand side where I went to other, I've seen it before where sometimes there's no people in contacts. And this, again, I'm talking about Gmail, but if you're using some other email viewer, it's the similar answers, okay? So what happens is these people, if set up properly, I can't tell you guys enough, you have to be set up properly because again, Apple mucks you up, Androids are generally fine. But if your phones are set up properly, then I update Barney right now, it's immediately on my phone, okay? Awesome. Sorry, I'm just reading, Ray, your Facebook Live is gone on, your live video is gone on Facebook. Sorry, it's not working anymore? Okay, well, I'm recording this, so, right. I am recording this, so we're gonna have to just spend some time and upload it to the various sources. So you can get a recording of this, but you've got to give us probably till mid next week to get the recording if it's not really live on Facebook, okay? Okay, so the others, if we go down to others, these people are people that I, at some point in time, contacted. They are not in my address book. So they won't show up on my phone. This only sits here. It's just if this Carolyn emailed me a year ago, it sits here. And if I emailed her back, it sits here. But it's not added to my contacts. If I wanted it added to my contacts, I have to open this up and see the little head here. Then I will see it. And if she texts me or phones me, it'll say her name if the phone number's there and whatever. You see, that was years ago. Does that make sense, you guys? So you would add it to the contacts. Only then, if they're added to the contacts, are they going to sync with this a properly configured CRM? I have to preface that too. It has to be the right CRM that integrates properly and does a two-way sync with Google or with the contacts and calendar. Okay. Okay. How can you see this recording again? We're going to put it up to YouTube and our Facebook groups and business page by next week. We'll also email you guys and let you know, okay, tomorrow. Okay, so no more questions on contacts. I don't think. I don't see any. Nope. Okay, so now let's go. I'm going to go and look at what you guys are doing. You want to create subfolders and delete the emails from my inbox. Okay, so I'm just methodically, these are in order of people registering and the questions that were asked. So let's go through them. So I'm going to go again to my Gmail. And again, I have to tell you guys again, reminder, this is not a real working email account. I don't really use this. It's old. I've got 172 emails in here. I cleaned it up not that long ago, but I could just get old newsletters and stuff like that I at some point in time must have subscribed to. Okay. I don't even know. Some of these are like, where do they get my name? Okay. So you ready? How do you create subfolders and delete email from my inbox? Those are kind of two questions. So let's just say, for the purposes of this email account, that I want to, let's say I want to delete everything from Banana Republic. Or let's say I want to move everything from Banana Republic into a folder. Now, I'm going to keep saying the word folder, okay? But they're literally not really folders, they're labels. But I know that most people get confused about how Google uses labels. So just in your head, think of them as folders, okay? Okay, so Banana Republic. So I get an email from this, Banana Republic Factory at email.bananarepublic. So I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna say copy email address. I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna say paste. And this is just saying, find everything that is from Banana Republic. Okay. How cool is that? So then I could, if you're cleaning up stuff, you're like, why would I keep Banana Republic emails? Like, there's no point, right? You could tap up here to the left, and then I've highlighted 38 of them. I could delete them. That makes sense? Super easy. This is how it's super easy to clean up your inbox of crap, right? You could get rid of all the old stuff. And another way, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to use maybe Banana Republic to show you something. But another thing that you can do, let's go back to the inbox. See over to the right-hand side, if I want to see the oldest first, I could tap on here. Actually, I think no, they haven't. Okay, so now I'm the oldest first. So if you're looking for old email, you could go and look at it and say, oh my goodness, I've got whatever yours would look different for me, because most time people have like 60,000, 200,000, 500,000 emails in their inbox. And then, so yours might go back to, 2007 or 6 or whatever, whenever you created this email, right? So you could go, oh, I don't want anything from, here's Banana Republic again. So you literally, I just open this up. Okay, and I could grab this, the email address. I'm just going to do it a different way. I'm doing the same thing a different way. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste this. Now, let's say that I really do want to keep Banana Republic. Could be maybe stuff from CRA, from your brokerage, for whatever you want to keep stuff. Here is what you can do. I select this. I want to put a label on it. Okay, a label. Now it's in my promotions tab. I hate promotions tab. We can get rid of that. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. But I'm going to create a new label. And I'm going to call it Banana Republic. Now, nesting means, do you want it under another folder? For the purpose of this, I'm just going to keep it at what we call the root or top level, just so it's easier for me to show you this. Okay, and I'm going to create that. So now I have, see that? Now it's Banana Republic. And what I can do is I can now go up here and say archive them. So that gets them out of my inbox. You'll see in a minute that 172 is going to drop by 38. Okay, I'm going to archive it. So then if I go, see, now that's 172 is 134. See how easy I just got rid of 38 messages? And you can too. That makes sense, you guys? So now it's out of my inbox. You'll see no Banana Republic in here. You will only see this folder that has all the Banana Republic emails. Does that make sense? Yeah? Not excited, you guys? Are you guys there? Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go to the next one. Why are people using Gmail? I don't like Hotmail, Yahoo, and Gmail when receiving sales notifications. Okay, so people use Gmail and Shaw and Hotmail and Yahoo and whatever. They use a ton of, there's so many free email services. Now, I think that you shouldn't be using any of these free email services, and we fix that by getting you on a properly configured business email server. Okay. And only then will things integrate properly. And we have to get your phones fixed with the set up properly, so it's talking to the right set of contacts and not Apple. And so there's a lot of things that you need to get done to do this. Okay. Let me just see. Can email folders be saved permanently in Google Docs somewhere once a file is closed? Can email folders be saved permanently in Google Docs somewhere once a file is closed? No. I'm just trying to read that because it doesn't make sense. So Google Docs is a different email folder. So let's just talk about that. These folders are in email. Okay. There may be some third-party tool to move them over to Google Docs, but Google Docs is like, it's like Google, it's like a Microsoft Word. It's a document processor. Okay. Does that make sense? So I would say no, but if you want to keep something, why not just keep it here? You could put it, if you don't want to like scroll down and look for things, you could put it at the bottom. So how things are sorted are by symbols, symbols, numbers, and then letters, right? So you could sort things differently, but I wouldn't waste my time doing that. I would sort things, put them in the right folders, and then that's it. Okay. When you archive emails that you created a label, what does that do with them? Usually I just move my emails into a folder, but do not archive them. Trying to understand the difference. Great question, Madison. Okay. So I get in the habit of doing it this way. There's other ways to do it. If you're moving is the same thing. I do it in 2 steps, you do it in 1. So let me show you what Madison is saying. So you get into the habit of doing it a specific way. You know what I mean? And this is how I do it. So let's go and let's say let me go back to the inbox and let's do it with another one. Let's go Udemy. Okay. I'm just going to look up Udemy. Okay. So here's Udemy. So what Madison is saying, so what I did initially, and it's the same thing, but done differently, right? I went here, I created a label, then I archived it, or you can say move. Hold on, where's the move? Move. Oh my goodness, why can I not move these? Move not to inbox. I don't want to move them to my inbox. This is the problem with live stuff sometimes, you guys, because I know that I don't use that option very much. Let me just see, because maybe it is only when you're picking one. No, I don't see the move option here. And maybe this is on the free account. You can't do the move, but, and Madison, maybe, yeah, it might be right. It might be only with, yeah, I'm not sure. I think it might be with the free one. You can't do all cool things, but there is an option normally that you say move to a specific folder. And then that's the same as what I just did. I labeled it and then archived it. So what archiving literally means, it says, get it out of my inbox and keep it somewhere else, either in all mail or in a specific label. Okay. Okay. Actually, the video is still active, but it looks like it shared it on your personal. Yes, I know I shared it on my personal. I didn't mean to, but I couldn't see the option. So we'll move it later. Hi, personal people. I know lots of agents on my, and this might help other people who use Gmail as well. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Let's look at this. Can email folders, but you already answered that. Where to get training to use it correctly? Oh, you know what? That's a good question. Where to get training? Well, Google has phenomenal help. See this little help up at the top right? If you tap up on here under training, fill your boots. They have some fabulous training. Okay, so go to, again, the help up to the top right and training. Okay. All right, next question. Is Gmail different on Bing and Google servers? I noticed my Gmail calendar is not syncing on the different servers. Oh, I love questions like this because I always like to say that the terminology correct people when the terminology they're talking about is not quite correct. So what the question is, let me just say, okay, is Gmail different on Bing and Google servers? So I think what she's talking about, or he's talking about, whoever this is talking about, is that Bing and Chrome and Internet Explorer and Edge are different browsers. And I'm not sure, but this is what I think you mean. So if I'm using different browsers, how come it looks different? Well, because it might look slightly different if you're using Edge. I would always recommend using Chrome, because that's Google's product, to view Google's other product, right? It just makes sense. But can you use another browser to look at Gmail? Absolutely, you can. Okay. If your calendar isn't syncing, it's probably a setup problem. And so your calendar should be able to sync no matter what, but it has to be set up properly on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, on every single darn thing you touch, and of course your CRM. Okay. Let me just see. I see questions. How do you move the desktop files back to the system and not lost? Hold on. How do you move the desktop files back to the system and not lose? I'm not really, can you rephrase that? Because I don't know what you mean by desktop. So desktop, maybe you mean the home page. I think. When forwarding message to others and attachments are not included. Okay, let's get back to that. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense for that question about this. It's irrelevant of what browser you use, but you really should use Chrome, okay? I have always used Outlook, and I realized Gmail is practical. Is there a way to format the layout to be more like Outlook? Okay, you guys, here's the other thing. Ray, can you put the apply button now? If you guys are stuck and you're asking questions like this and you're an Outlook user, because sometimes what's happened is your Outlook is configured incorrectly, Macmail is configured incorrectly, your phones are configured incorrectly, and nothing is talking to each other. So Ray's going to put in an option to, and I'll give you the link at the end as well, to talk with me for about 30 minutes and see if we can even help you and how your systems are currently set up. So the question again, let's talk about that. Outlook is never, in my opinion, and for many, many years, we supported the desktop version of Outlook. So Outlook is a viewer of any email. You could view Gmail and Shaw and TELUS and whatever inside Outlook. It doesn't matter, okay? The problem with Outlook is that the support's horrible. If something goes wrong, is it Outlook or is it something else? The files, the more you use Outlook and the more email that gets in there, the PST or OST file that's running it gets big, and it sits only on your one computer. So you go to my house, it's not going to look the same and your stuff isn't there. But if set up properly, you can come to my house, log onto my computer, and all your stuff's there. Okay, so the question is, can we format it so it looks different? Yes and no. Okay, so if you go up, if you can make changes to anything, it's always in the gear. So if I wanted to make a change to Gmail, it's the settings gear icon here. Okay, and here's all the settings that you can say. If you're used to, let's see, if you're used to reading email on the below the inbox, you can tap this. Okay, if you're used to, I just has to refresh it, refresh the view. You can put pretty colors, you can change things. So if you're used to it looking like this and viewing on the bottom, you can do that. If you don't like the list, you tap on the menu up here. I don't know how anyone doesn't like the list, but if you want to see the list, you just tap on the menu on the left-hand side. Okay, that's a big one. Sometimes people don't even know they're like this and they're like, I hate Gmail, but they don't realize that they can actually just open up the list and keep it there. I always have the list open. Because it's similar to Outlook, right? Okay, then we go back up to the gear to the right. Okay, back up to the gear to the right. And then Google says, well, do you want the comfortable or compact or default? So you just play around. You don't like this, you go back up and you say, go back to default. You want it important first or unread first or starred first, priority, multiple inboxes. You don't want any, I don't like the split, you guys. So I'm gonna put the no split. You don't want the conversation view. We'll go over some other settings as well. This one, when you hit the gear icon, this is the main ones. There's more that you can change, and I'll show you that in a minute. Does that make sense? All good? Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so actually, while we're here, let's just go into all settings. Okay, we're going to go to all settings. Now, of course, there's calendar settings and contact settings, and email has the most settings that you can change, right? That makes sense. So I can't, I could just spend probably a day or half day on all the different things. So high level, super high level, let's just walk through this, okay? So the general, I would literally go through every single one of these, okay? Is it, undo send. So if you are one of these spontaneous people that are always like, oh my gosh, wish I didn't send that email, you can change it up to 30 seconds. Okay, so that if you send it, you can undo the send. Like, that's a pretty cool feature to have if that's what, you've done that a few times, like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean to send that email, right? Okay. And let me just go through grammar suggestions on, spelling on. I don't know. Some of these are off by default, which makes no sense to me. We want our spelling to be checked, I would think, right? Personalizations on. I turn off conversation view. If I don't like how Google or any mail service, again, I'm talking Google, but this is on Outlook does this, Windows Mail, Mac Mail. It means that when they clump all emails together, if that drives you bonkers, I actually think it should be the opposite. The conversation view should be off by default, not on, because most people don't like it. You're trying to find an email and they're all clumped together and all this back and forth. So you want to see, oh, I know he sent it to me Tuesday. You can go look at Tuesdays. That makes sense. So I would have the conversation view off. This is some new feature, and because I don't use this actual as my test account, I hate this new feature and you might like it, but you got to know what it is. So Gmail is kind of pushing their chat and like messaging feature, and their Meet, which would be like their video feature. And I don't use them. Like, I love a lot of things about Google, but I think they're a little too late in the game for this other stuff. We're all using other things. Now, if you are, I'd keep this on. For me, and it tells you, what's this really mean? I have turned it off on my actual account. I don't use these features. If you use them, keep it. And you'll notice that when you book calendars or you send an email, it sometimes gives you options to chat or use the video feature. So, it is what it is. So I'm going to go back to the gear icon up to the top right. Oh my goodness. See all settings. And it's as slow as molasses right now. So I turned it off. I turned off all these, but it's taking too long. So then we go down here and see my testing of my signatures. So let's talk signatures, you guys. Are you ready? This is my pet peeve, the signatures. And I can tell you, I literally have been talking about signatures for at least 2 decades. So how sad is that? 2 decades. Okay. If you put images, icon, like a Facebook icon, a LinkedIn, an Instagram icon, a YouTube icon, you put your brokerage banner, you put your nice little picture in your signature, it always looks good to the sender. Okay. You do not know how I get my emails. So I might read it on Outlook. I might be on an Android. I might be on a Windows phone. Maybe not that. That doesn't exist anymore, does it? Apple. Like, we don't know. And every email server and every device looks at things differently. So could it be that it takes that image, strips it, and adds it as an attachment, or puts a big X on it? So you'll see that you'll never, ever, ever, until this is fixed, and it's been decades that this is not fixable, that I do not have that in my signature. I will have links, and you could color things. So if I wanted to highlight my name, and actually I'll just show you with Remax. You ready? You Remax people? Okay, because I just did this for Terry, so I'll just show you. You highlight that, and it is the red text and bold, and then we can just hover over here, and then we can go like this and make I screw up. Background is on the left, text is on the right, and then blue. So you can color, right? Which looks nice. And color generally will come over, but sometimes color won't come over either, depending on where I'm looking at it. Okay. And how they're viewing it. Are they viewing things by HTML or via like just text, right? So you have to understand that. Now, let's say I want to put in a website, and it's agenttechmastery.com. Okay. I just highlight this and then I put the link. And then it automatically puts it thinking it knows. Double check that that works, that you don't have to have a www in front or a HTTPS. Double check. Okay, so that worked good. And that looks good. So you could put the colors of your brokerage there, right? That makes sense? And a link and your phone number. And then what you do, so let's say we call this main. You can have multiple signatures, main signature, done. And then over here, it says for new emails, use the main. And then what I always tell people too is create another one. This is my replies and forwards. And here, I'm just going to put Darci or Darci and your phone number. Okay. So that that big long signature isn't in every single email that you send. Right. So when we reply back and we go back and forth, it just will say Darci or Darci and the phone number. Okay. And then so on here, you'd say on reply and forward, use reply and forward signature. Okay. And then you have to, don't forget this, go down to the bottom and hit save or you don't save it. Okay. Okay. So there we go. Can we see if the email has been opened? Not with, no, with a good CRM, you can. That's a good question, Brian. So if all things are integrated and you're using a CRM and you send from the CRM, you should at least be able to see if it was opened. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, there may be some third-party tools that track that, but I don't believe you can do it specifically just using Gmail. Okay. Okay. Now let me go back. I think okay. What was the question that I had, Adelina? How do you move the home screen files back to the system and not lost? Okay. So I think your question was, so I moved these to Banana Republic. And let's say I accidentally did that and I want to move it back to my inbox, my main inbox. I think that's what you mean. Literally, it's that easy. Okay. Move to inbox. That's it. Move to inbox. Because what I did is I said, move them only to Banana Republic. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if not. Okay, perfect. Where are we now? We are on question 10. No, yes, 10. How to keep clean and schedule actions on email. Well, you know, that is the difficult part. I'm going to flip. Oh, let me just think about, there are ways to do it. And so what I've done, and this is way too complicated to get into here, but if you know enough and you can do some research, is that what I've done is I've set up a filter that says, if I add the flag follow up, star it and put it below. So it's actually below my emails. And of course, I only in my real inbox. Let me just see, do I want to show you my real inbox? Just a sec. Just a sec, you guys. Let me just see. 1 second, I'll bring it. Oh, it's not. No, hold on. What am I doing here? Yep. Okay, let me just see here. If I get any new emails from Banana, it will go into the Banana folder. Oh, no, it won't. That's a good one. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm okay showing you my inbox. Yeah, I just want to make sure I've got no weird stuff because I use my business email for personal and business. Okay. Okay. So let me just, I'll get back to that and show you the Banana because no, that's made up when we do filters. Okay. Okay. So in here, I've got 37 emails. We're doing a build of home. So I've got a bunch of stuff I haven't answered. And then these ones, I don't really, people registered. I don't really care about any of this stuff. Right. It doesn't really matter. This is just new stuff. But so generally speaking, normally I have about 10 items. I have been remiss because I haven't answered all this stuff. Lumber prices suck. So we're trying to figure out lumber prices when you're building a home. Not a good time to be building, you guys. Okay. So you can see in mine. So let's just say this one. I want to follow up with this. I have a thing that I go here and I follow up and apply. And then what's going to happen is it ends up down here. Okay. So these are ones that I look at and I want to follow up with. Okay. So it is all done through filters. Now let me go back, since we're talking about filters, because filters are so cool, but you got to test your filters. So the question was, the Banana Republic emails. Let's say I want every Banana Republic email to go into the Banana Republic folder for next time, label folder. Okay. This is how I do it. So a way is you can tap on this guy and you can tap on the 3 dots and you can say filter messages like these. Now, what I don't like about this, and this is just experience, you'll see if I go filter messages like these, it looks kind of funny. So I wouldn't actually use that unless it looks okay. I know this doesn't. So I'm going to actually grab the email again. Remember we looked at the email before? This is where all the emails come from Banana Republic. So I'm going to copy this. Now I'm going to say, then I'm going to go to there's a bunch of different ways of doing the same thing. I'll do it this way. You go to settings, see all settings, filters up here, filters and blocked email out. And you can see, this is just testing stuff. Create a new filter, anything from Banana Republic. And I could specifically say that has the words, that says something else, that it has an attachment. You can be really specific, but I just want anything from Banana to create a filter and apply a label, Banana Republic, and skip my inbox. So don't stay in my inbox. This is what I would do for newsletters like that, and throw it into the Banana Republic folder and then create a filter. So next email newsletter from them, I won't even see it. It'll go to the Banana Republic folder. Hopefully that made sense. That makes sense? Who was asking that? Marnoush. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. Does everything in your Gmail account take up storage space? Yes. Yes, Christine. So anything, Google Drive, if you're using it, your inbox, but you can see for free. Again, this is the problem with free anything, free TELUS, free Shaw, free Gmail. There's a limited amount of space, right? So another reason not to be using these, okay? I did it fast, yeah, because we got so many questions and you can watch the webinar again, okay? How do you do that follow-up thing again? The follow-up thing is really, I would Google how to follow up in Gmail because it's a filter and more. It's really more complicated. I researched it trying to figure out how to do that. And okay, so yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, let's just see. Templated emails. Oh my goodness. How are we doing for time? Oh, the time has just flown by. I got 10 minutes. Okay, let's talk about templated emails because they're awesome. Now I'm going to go back to my actual working email because I literally do have templated emails. So compose an email. If I say the same darn thing over and over and over again, now this is where you should be doing some of this in your CRM, but you can also use what we call templated emails. Okay. So templated emails means that I'm going to say the same thing over and over, and I say it multiple times. Like actually, one of the ones I always set up on mine is a Zoom template because people are always saying, what's your Zoom log on again when we're doing private sessions? So in here, I can go tap in here, templates, and I have all these different templates. So Zoom meeting link, it automatically puts it in, and then I just put who it's to, and I send it. How cool is that? So you want to know more, just Google templates or look at their help for templates. Templates are amazing. Okay. Okay. And again, you guys, can you fix the part of the subject line? Yep, you can on the templates. You bet you can. Let me just go back and see what people are saying. Can you please email me? You can watch it on our YouTube channel. Ray, I'll put the YouTube channel, or actually Ray, put the Streamlined agents link, and that gives you a bunch of options, and that's where it'll be in one of those spots for sure. Okay. Can you fix the subject line? I answered that, yes. How do you sync your Gmail calendar to your Android phone? Has to be properly set up. Again, maybe set up a chat with me. Ray, we'll follow up with the chat opportunity to do a 30-minute chat with me. Let me just see. I see you've created buyers and sellers. Can you create for all your clients in one label? Yeah, let me go back. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to pull up my this guy again. Okay, good eye, you're watching, because I haven't quite talked about that. This is where, you guys, in real estate, if you want to keep your deals all organized, like how awesome is that? This is what I do. Every single time I'm talking to a client and we're done, it goes into the client folder. Okay, that's why my inbox can be, again, you see 37. I'm going to say, honestly, normally it's around 5 or 6. I'm doing a lot of builder stuff. And so I haven't answered their emails yet. So if I have not answered an email, again, if I have not answered an email or taken action on something, it sits in there until I'm done, personal and business. That makes sense? Okay. All right. So let's just say, we've set up a label called real estate, and then a subfolder, sub-label called buyers, and a subfolder over here called sellers. And then the buyer's name could be in here, and the sellers might be listed as their address or their name, depending on how you want to do it. It's how you want to do it, right? So let's just say I'm in my inbox and I'm working with 1234 Cobblestone Way, and this is an email from Cobblestone Way. I've replied back, I'm done, I want to keep it. I literally just go to label and I can type in Cobble, and there it pops up. I apply the label and I archive it. So that just means move it out of my inbox. Now it's gone from my inbox and it's in Cobblestone Way. Cool, right? Isn't that all cool? I love this. You guys love this? Did that answer your question, Mintu? Can you create for all your clients in one label? So you could, if you wanted to, I wouldn't, but you could just say buyers and then put all your buyers under buyers. Does that make sense? If that's your question? Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, let me just see. And this really could go on for a couple hours, couldn't it? Can your Gmail be linked with other email? I have iCloud and Remax.net, plus my server email can be confusing. Yeah. So you should probably book a session with us because the answer is, can it? Yes. Should it? No. Okay. It shouldn't, but can it? Yes. But for the exact reason why you just said it's confusing. Okay. Okay. I'd like to learn easy ways to sort and mass delete. Yeah. Paragon showings. Okay. So this is not but you could, whatever. Hopefully that answered the question anyhow. Like if you have a bunch of Paragon stuff in here that's irrelevant anymore, you want it out of your inbox, what do? Find the email it came from, or of course, I'm not going to have any on this test email, but Paragon search. And then I don't know why that has, and then whatever comes up with the word Paragon that's correct, I'd probably look up the email address. And then I would either delete them all, move them to a folder, or archive them. One of the three to get them out of your inbox. Because sometimes I think it's stressful in when your inbox says 30,000 emails, and they're not 30,000 emails. There's probably 29,000 emails that can be gone, right? So wouldn't it be better and just not as mentally draining? Does that make sense, you guys? So I would easily, you want to get rid of I don't know, what else do I have here? Starbucks? No, Expedia. Oh, I long for the Expedia days. Okay. So Expedia, I want to move, this is all travel related stuff, right? Okay. Travel related stuff. I'm going to do this again. I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to label it. I'm going to create a new label and I'm going to call it travel. And maybe I have a personal, in my real one, I actually have personal and then subfolders. But again, for this, I'm just going to call it travel, create. It's a reserved label. Okay, travel updates, whatever. I've not seen that before. That's interesting. Travel updates, and then I'm going to archive it. Now I got rid of, in a minute, 47 art. Now I'm down to 122. You see how fast you could clean up your Gmail inbox? Does that make sense? Okay. What is the best deal with Google for storage? Google increases their prices annually. If you're here and that was your question, you should book a call, because if you're paying separately for Google Drive and Dropbox and OneDrive and iCloud storage, then you're set up incorrectly. Okay. Book a call. I'd love to clean out my email. I showed you that. Photos and logos on. Yeah, I showed you that. How to organize my email. I showed you that. How to use Gmail for business promotion. If you're here, let me know what you mean by that. I'm not sure. Starting a new link or message and blending the message with an existing message, making it a file. If you're here, I'm not sure what you mean. How to make a good signature. I did. How to declutter. I talked about that. How to keep emails in different folders. I talked about that. Oh my goodness, have I actually covered everything? How to organize files, downloads, and easy ways to attach files as copy and paste do not work. Oh, okay. So I'm going to read that again. How to organize, download, and easy ways to attach files or copy and paste does not work. Now, so we talked about organizing email, and I think that this is probably more directed about how to organize your folder structure. And we actually work with agents to do just that. Part of it is how you've set up Chrome, which seems like, what, really? But it does. Is how is Chrome set up and where do you save your stuff? And then also you have to understand whether you're using Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive or iCloud Drive, how to share a folder structure with your other agents or your clients. Okay. Yeah, and I can't cover that today, but there's definitely a way to do that. Okay. Let me just see what else, because we are almost done here. Let me get back to this. Could you please quickly show how to add the follow-up section you did in your inbox? Sorry, I can't, because it was very convoluted on how I did it. And you can't find it. Yeah, I'll try and maybe add it to the Facebook post on my personal page and the other ones. I'd have to go research again because I did it a while ago. Did you say not to use TELUS email accounts? I said, do not, you as a business person should not be using free email services. That is MSN, Gmail, TELUS, Shaw, AOL, Yahoo, iCloud, @me. It does not help your business. Okay. It does not help your business. And when people say actually and so again, set up a chat with me. It's 30 minutes. It's free to talk. And we'll look at how your business systems are currently set up and see if we can even help you. Okay. And when people talk about CRMs, I can tell you that not all CRMs are equal. Only a few of them do what they should do, is integrate properly, have good support. And if you update the CRM, it updates everywhere, and not all of them do. And sometimes when people say, hey, this is the best CRM, if I email the company and ask them, it takes 3 days to answer the question, I don't even look at them. And Copper is one of those. Okay. Don't even look at it, because if the support's like that, then not good. Okay. Okay, so don't just go set up the business email, because I see you'll just set up another wrong email address. And the cost of doing nothing and not getting this stuff fixed is a lot of missed opportunities and wasted time, right? Lots of wasted time. So Ray already put the link, and you'll get it in the follow-up email tomorrow, but streamlinedagents.com, that's our Facebook group, our other social media platforms. If you want me to speak at your brokerage about systems and integration, I would love to. There's a little form to fill out or a link to fill out there. There's testimonials. There is an opportunity to speak with me for 30 minutes as well. Okay. So again, if you're going to book the call, you got to wait for the confirmation, because if two of you guys book the same time, you won't both get in at the same time. I don't have a lot of free slots over the next, couple weeks, but you can check it out. I'd love to chat with you. And if is there any, it's 3 o'clock right on the nose. Is there any like burning question that I have not covered today, that if you want to just ask in the chat? I think I covered like all the top questions that we had, like 30 questions. I think we covered all the top questions. Okay. And I'll see if I can find that the way I set up that follow-up at the bottom. Now there's also, here's a third, I didn't really talk about third-party add-ons while people are asking questions. I'll give you a minute to ask your questions. There's Boomerang that does some extra stuff. I've tried it some people love it. I personally don't love it, but it also has a way to follow up, so Boomerang, there's the free version and the paid version. Another great app for a Gmail add-on for agents is Folio. So you can check out those two as well, which might help you be more organized. And Folio keeps track of your deals, which is pretty cool. Again, these ones we started using and then we don't anymore, but they might work for you, right? They didn't work for us. We have the CRM we use does most of the stuff we need to do. Okay. Will this presentation go into YouTube today? So all my links are under streamlinedagents.com. And yep, Folio, you can Google Folio with one L, Chris. Okay, Google that and see what it does. It is cool. Lots of agents love Folio. And again, it's a learning curve to understand how these work, but they're awesome. So we'll go, I think you meant, Murnesh, you meant YouTube. We'll go to my YouTube channel. Again, all the channels are on streamlinedagents.com. Currently, it's on my Facebook personal, if you're my friend. As soon as we're done, I'll share it in our systems improvement for agents, and we'll share it there. Okay. What are you thinking about Realty Juggler? Again, we have to look at your system setup. CRMs are super irrelevant unless your systems are set up properly. When I talk to agents, we're not even talking about the CRM setup until you have a domain, you have a proper business email, you understand cloud storage, and then we link it and integrate it. Okay. So when people ask that big question, and actually I think my next webinar, what is my next webinar, Ray? Let's see, hold on. It's about cloud storage. So we're doing cloud storage in June. I'm skipping May's one. I'm just too swamped. So we'll do it in June, but we also do a CRM one. You can look at replays about that. But just because an agent says whatever is good, it doesn't mean it's good for you. Okay, you have to keep that in mind because they may not even use it. They may have paid for it for 10 years, or maybe they only use it to manage their contacts, or maybe it doesn't even integrate, right? So there's many reasons to understand that it's integration with CRMs, okay? Okay, I think that's it, you guys. I think we've covered everything. There's no other questions I haven't answered. And hopefully we'll see you in June. We'll do a follow-up today or tomorrow with this. And I will try and find how I did that follow-up for you as well. Okay, thanks for joining me again. It's been awesome. And we'll talk to you soon. Okay, see you guys.